If you're watching this video, you are probably curious about chiropractic care and how it can help you and your family. So let's explore what chiropractic is all about and how it works. A chiropractor is a healthcare professional who specializes in the health and function of the spine and nervous system. Because of this focus on the spine, many people think chiropractors can only help with problems such as back pain, neck pain, and headaches. And it is true that chiropractors can often help with these things, but there is so much more to chiropractic than just pain. Chiropractic care is really about total health and well-being. It's about helping people to feel great and get the most out of life by functioning at their optimal potential. The spine is there to protect the spinal cord, which is part of the central nervous system. The spine is like a set of armor made up of segments so that it can bend and move naturally with the body. A spinal segment consists of 2 vertebrae and the joints that connect them. There is a disc between each vertebra that acts as a cushion. Underneath that armor, a whole lot is happening. Messages travel from around the body, up the spinal cord, and into the brain. The brain processes those messages and sends replies back down the spinal cord to tell the body how to respond. The central nervous system is one big information highway, and it carries vital messages to every part of your body. Sometimes the wear and tear of everyday life can impact the spine and cause spinal segments to move in a way that is different to normal, in a dysfunctional way. That wear and tear can happen gradually, such as from bad posture, or it can happen suddenly, which is common with sports injuries. And because of the close relationship between the spine and the nervous system, everyday strains can actually impact the flow of information and communication between the brain and the body. Messages may not be delivered to the brain, or they may be inaccurate. When that miscommunication occurs due to abnormal movements of the spine, chiropractors call this a vertebral subluxation or a chiropractic subluxation. You might hear it again from your chiropractor, so now you know what it means. By making fast, gentle adjustments to the spine, chiropractors restore its natural movement. If the central nervous system is like the engine of your body, a chiropractor acts like a mechanic, tuning the spine and central nervous system so that your body can run like a race car. Just keep in mind that as you are adjusted, you may hear a popping sound that can seem a bit strange. In fact, it's completely harmless. It's just the release of gas from between spinal segments, and it's no more significant than any other release of gas from the body. So are you ready to supercharge your engine? Did you know that your brain and central nervous system are constantly changing? It's quite amazing. From one day to the next, your brain is not the same. This is what scientists call neural plasticity. So what's the cause of this change? Well, to start with, your brain receives a constant supply of messages about your body and the external environment from the sensory organs. That's your eyes, your ears, your nose, tongue, skin, and so on. With this information, your brain maintains a 3D map of your body and keeps tabs of what's going on outside of your body. Your brain needs to interpret all of this data from your senses. It translates the information it receives based on what it's learnt from your past experiences, as well as its expectations for the future, its preferences, and more. You could call this the brain's bias. There is basically a lot of background processing that happens under the radar. So how you or your brain sees a situation may not be entirely accurate. That means your experience isn't 100% based on reality, but is instead a perception of reality. Let's look at an example of how the brain fills in the blanks. Look at this picture and consider which square is darker, square A or square B. Which is darker now? It's incredible, isn't it? Your brain doesn't just see what the eyes tell it. it interprets what the eyes tells it, based on other information it has already stored up. In this case, you see square A as darker than square B because square B is in the shadow of the green cylinder, while square A is outside the shadow. Based on your brain's past experience, it will decide for you that if a square in a shadow reflects the same amount of light as a square outside the shadow, then it must be a lighter shade of grey. So what happens if your brain's map of the body is inaccurate, or if it's interpreting information based on faulty perceptions? It may mean that your brain responds to environmental cues ineffectively. But how would you know if your brain's map of the body, or its knowledge of the environment, was inaccurate? You may find that you become a bit clumsy, that you stub your toe often, or catch your elbow on door frames. You may find that your golf swing is out, or that your concentration is just not what it used to be. Or you may be overreacting emotionally to a situation. In the next video, you will find out how chiropractic care can help reset the function of the brain and the central nervous system, improving the accuracy of your brain's map of the body and the environment so that you can operate at your best. We know that your brain receives information about your body from the environment, from your sensory organs such as your eyes, your ears, and your nose. But did you know that the muscles in your body are also sensory organs? As your body moves, muscles stretch, and this information is sent to your brain so that it knows what your body is doing. When you think of muscles, you probably think of your biceps and triceps. You won't necessarily think of the small muscles close to your spine and skull. These small muscles do in fact play a very important role. They tell your brain what your spine is doing, which represents what the core of your body is doing. But if your spinal segments begin to move in a dysfunctional way, for example due to an injury or bad posture, that communication between your spinal muscles and your brain becomes distorted, which means you have a communication breakdown between your brain and your body. If your spinal segments aren't moving correctly, it may cause background noise for your brain, or your brain might not get adequate information about what's happening in your body, and will therefore have to fill in the blanks. Let's explore an analogy. Imagine for a moment that you've lived in a house all your life, and that in this house there's a long dark corridor with no windows. At the end of the corridor is an electrical fuse box. Now imagine that the circuit breaker to the lights has blown and you're pitched into complete darkness. Would you be completely helpless? Or could you walk down that corridor and turn the circuit breaker back on? Of course you could. You've lived there all your life. You would know roughly how long the corridor was and how wide it was. You would be able to get down there and turn the lights back on. Your brain is just as smart as that. It can function even if there's parts of the body that it cannot see. It will be able to function and control those parts of your body because of its past experience. But now imagine that before those lights went out, your kids had left a bicycle in that long corridor that you had not seen. What would happen in that scenario? You would likely fall and hurt yourself. And this is what happens when the brain is not fully aware of what is going on somewhere in your body or in your environment. You could end up having an accident or hurt yourself. This is where your chiropractor comes in. A chiropractor will gently adjust any dysfunctional spinal segments, or what they call vertebral subluxations, to restore healthy movement. This can improve the communication between your brain, your body, and the environment. It's a lot like rebooting a computer. When your brain can accurately perceive what's going on inside and out, it can better control your body for the situation at hand and move muscles in the right order. This means your body moves accurately, you have fewer accidents, and you can function and perform at your best. One question many new parents ask is whether they should take their baby to see a chiropractor or another manual therapist. But babies don't have back pain, do they? So why might a chiropractor help a baby? Well, the answer is really simple. Chiropractors don't see babies to help them with their back pain. They see babies to help improve spinal function, with the aim of improving your child's brain's ability to process what's going on in their body and give them the best possible start in life. But why might a baby have problems with the way their spine is functioning? That's another really simple question to answer. Spending 9 months growing in mum's tummy can get really cramped. Before baby is even born, the pressure they're under in the mum's uterus can cause changes in the way their bones move and fuse together, or the shape of their skull. And then the strains the baby faces during delivery, either as they pass through the birth canal or from forceps or other forms of assisted delivery, can cause injuries to the baby's spine or nervous system that doctors and parents may not even be aware of. In fact, a study was published in 2015 where researchers looked at 100 healthy newborn babies and tested them for a variety of problems with the way their spine and the bones of their skull were moving. What the researchers found in this study was that just about all the babies they checked had a problem that may have benefited from care by a manual therapist. Over 90% of the babies had a problem with the way their neck was moving, and even more had problems with their lower back. That was a really interesting finding because who knows, maybe babies get pain after all. The researchers in this study were also interested to see whether the duration of labour made a difference to how many problems the babies had with the way their spine and skull moved. What they found was that the longer labour went on for, the more problems the babies had. These problems are all types of things that chiropractors and other manual therapists aim to help with when they check your baby. And this may explain why research studies have suggested chiropractic care may help babies to cry less and maybe even sleep better. When appropriately applied, chiropractic is known to be safe for kids and babies. So maybe it's a good idea to have your baby checked by a chiropractor, especially if they had a long or difficult birth, to make sure they get the best possible start in life. More and more people are now going to see a chiropractor. But you may be surprised to know why chiropractic care is becoming so much more popular. Most people know that if you have a sore back or sore neck, or suffer from headaches, that a chiropractor may help you. But there are so many more reasons that people go and see a chiropractor. A recent study found that about 1 in 4 Americans have visited a chiropractor at some time in their life, and almost 20 million Americans see a chiropractor each year. The reason people in the study gave for going to see a chiropractor were really interesting. Although back and neck pain was the main specific health problem people gave for seeing a chiropractor, almost half of the chiropractic patients said they went for general wellness or disease prevention. So they saw a chiropractor because they wanted to function at their best. And about 1 in every 6 chiropractic patients said they saw their chiropractor to improve their athletic or sports performance or to improve their energy. When they were asked what chiropractic care had helped them with, about 2/3 of the chiropractic patients said chiropractic care had helped them to improve their overall health and made them feel better. And almost half of them said it helped them to sleep better or to reduce stress and to relax. Over 30% of those seeing chiropractors said it helped them by making it easier to cope with their health problems, and it gave them a sense of control over their health. Some even said it improved their relationship with others, or improved attendance at work or school. And some felt that chiropractic motivated them to eat healthier and exercise more regularly. If people went to see a chiropractor because their back or neck or joints were sore, about 2/3 of them said that chiropractic care helped them a great deal with these problems. And only a handful of them said that it didn't help at all. One other really cool finding in this study was that most chiropractic patients said they felt that chiropractic care Help them with the cause of their health problems instead of just treating their symptoms. This is really important. Symptoms are a bit like a fire alarm. The fire alarm is not the problem, the fire is. The alarm only goes off to let you know that something is not right. So if you take drugs or medication to mask your pain or symptoms, it's a bit like taking the battery out of the fire alarm. It's much better to take care of the cause of the problem straight away. This is what your chiropractor is aiming to do. So why do so many people go and see a chiropractor? It's not just because they get a lot of help if they're suffering from pain or other health problems. They go because they want to perform better on the sporting field and athletic track. They want to sleep better. They want to deal with stress better, or to be able to relax. They go because they simply want to improve their overall health and function at their best. Almost 50% of those asked said they went to see their chiropractor for maintaining their health and well-being. So have you seen your family chiropractor lately? Do you need help with a health problem? Would you like to cope better with your health concerns? Do you want to sleep better, feel better, have more energy, reduce stress, relax, or simply maintain your health and well-being? Give it a go and join the millions of others who claim to get these benefits from chiropractic care.